full tilt boogie offense that we were all told about. I was wondering if that vanilla thing against Portland State, if this was supposed to be the grand entrance of this great offense that was supposed to be the most exciting style of offense that Arkansas had ever had. And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Ben Hicks started the game for the Razorbacks in the first half, went 7 of 16 for 98 yards, no touchdowns. No touchdowns. He looked out of sorts. He had errant balls. It just overall was not a pretty performance by him. Nick Starkel comes in, definitely gets the offense going a lot better, but it was too little too late for the Razorbacks. The defense played well. I mean, there's just so many things to take from all of this. And we're going to have all of your thoughts and opinions coming in again. Call or text into the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. I don't really know what to make of this. I don't know really what this offensive identity is supposed to be. This Chad Morris full tilt boogie left lane hammer down offense. What is it supposed to be? I saw beyond questionable play calling. They were running the Wildcat, for crying out loud. Running the Wildcat a pretty good amount, especially in the first half. And guess what? It wasn't working. Because the Wildcat has not worked since Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis first introduced it to the world, and no one had an answer for it because you had 3 NFL running backs helping out with the formation. It hasn't worked since then, and it's not working now. The play calling was abysmal. The decision-making was not great. I don't really have a good feeling going forward that this is going to work out, that this is the right direction, that everything's going to be just fine if Arkansas stays the course. Am I overreacting to game 2 of the season? Maybe I am, and that's fine. This is what this show's about. It's reactions. It's raw reactions and raw emotions after a game like that with Arkansas and Ole Miss. But Ty, I'm telling you right now, that performance was about as bad as I could ask for. I mean, that was as bad as any of us could have predicted. Because, listen, Arkansas scored 17 points. 7 of those were from the defensive side of the ball on a scoop and score. And then the final touchdown that they scored was in garbage time when the game was already in hand. I felt bad for the defense. I really did. I felt bad for John Chavis and the defense because I felt like they did a good enough job, not a great job, but a good enough job to keep this team in the game, and they didn't. The offense did not help them out in the slightest. And Ty, overall, it was probably one of the most disappointing performances you could see out of a Razorback football team, especially given that Ole Miss is a terrible football team.
How different would this game have looked if Nick Starkel had taken the opening snap?
I think it would have been different.
I think that most fans would agree. I think the coaching staff would even agree that if Nick Starkel had taken the opening snap and started and played the entirety of the game, you might not have won, but you would have put up more than 17 points, period. And I had a buddy text me and comparing the quarterback selection to coaching malpractice. The fact that it is clear, apparent, obvious as it gets that Nick Starkel is the better quarterback. Now, maybe there was on that touchdown pass that was called back with Traylon Burks, where Trey Knox caught it, shoved some dude off, and took it to the house. I can't remember who the quarterback was in that situation, but you wonder. I believe, actually, I know it was for a fact it was Nick Starkel.
Yeah, it was Starkel.
You wonder if Hicks had been in that situation, if he would have noticed the alignment set up, the fact that Grayson Gunner was covered up and then went downfield and then was called for an ineligible man downfield. If Hicks would have noticed that, there's just things that each of them do better than the other, and you wish that it was just all within one quarterback. But, man, just a depleting loss, pathetic, ugly, disgusting, tossing whatever adjective, whatever word that you can use for that performance tonight. This was a chance for Chad Morris and his coaching staff to breathe in life into these fans. They want Chad Morris to succeed. I don't know if there's fans out there that genuinely have a disdain for Chad Morris because I don't think he's done enough yet for you to genuinely hate the guy, period. But he didn't give them any hope after tonight's performance.
No.
At all.
No. And in fact, this is where I get into the point of really questioning whether or not Chad Morris is knowing what he's doing on offense, because it's one thing to where you have new players, and I get it. There's an adjustment period. I understand that fully. But the fact of the matter is that it is no question that Nick Starkel is a better quarterback than Ben Hicks. I think that's starting to look pretty evident after 2 games. But you still went with Ben Hicks. And I know that the situation was different last year, but this is now 2 straight years where I believe that this offensive coaching staff has bumbled the starting quarterback position to start the game, to start the season. I think that it has been handled wrong. And I don't know. And again, we're not at those practices. Maybe Ben Hicks looks like all world in practice and Nick Starkel struggles. I don't know. But it certainly doesn't look good for Morris and for Joe Craddock when they start with Ben Hicks, which has kind of been criticized by a lot of fans. They start Ben Hicks again. He struggles mightily in that first half. And then when Nick Starkel comes in, boom, there's a spark. It's a bad look. It looks like that you are going with Hicks because you're familiar with him, because he's your guy, for whatever reason. And again, I'm not saying that is the reason, but that is how it looks to fans. And so it was just, I feel like it was a very poor decision on Morris and the offensive staff to go with Hicks in this game, because it is pretty obvious that Starkel is your better option.
Well, the comparison that one of the friends of the program told me is, let's say you compare it to when you're thinking about asking out a girl. There's the girl that you know that will go out with you, that's cool, that is fun. And then there's the one kind of mysterious girl, the one you're not sure about, that could go one or two ways. It could be very good, very bad. And the potential is much greater with that more mysterious girl than just the regular one. That's Nick Starkel. As weird as that analogy is, that's what Nick Starkel is. Yes, his upside is more higher, but you don't know. It's not as consistent as like to Ben Hicks because he hadn't been in the offense as long. He hasn't played college football as long, and he doesn't know the alignments, the different schemes, and as everything in depth as Ben Hicks does. But the talent gap is pretty apparent at this point, right?
Yeah, I think it's obvious.
And there was, so I made the point that I thought the offense was pretty lifeless if Rakeem Boyd was on the game, and I think Nick Starkel added some elements to it that Ben Hicks couldn't in the second half. And I noticed when Nick Starkel went out there to play in the second half, Ben Hicks was pissed. Like every time the cameras from the SEC Network, the camera guys or gals took a shot of him, he looked ticked. And look, I would be too. If you lost your job, you can't just. I know the team spirited, the team answer is to be happy for Nick. The fact that he's played, he's your guy, he's your teammate. That doesn't happen much in competition. You want to be the starting quarterback. That's how quarterbacks are. They have somewhat of an ego, some more than others, but it was just a job that Nick Starkel kind of took over tonight, and I would be very surprised if the Game 3 starter is not Nick Starkel. I mean, how can you come out on Monday and not name Nick Starkel the starting quarterback? And I'm not going to say he played a perfect game because he did.
No, but he is better than Hicks. He provided something that Hicks could not.
Of the 2-game sample size we have seen, and don't bring up, he played in the SEC, he's won one game there. Don't bring up, Pitt 6-6. Don't bring up that. Of the 2-game sample size we have seen at the University of Arkansas, which is all that matters to this point, I think you have to go with Starkel on Monday. I think you need to announce it. We made a quarterback change. Nick Starkel's our starting guy. But to your point, John, this is the second time, and there's only been 2 years, obviously, that the quarterback position has been up in the air. And how much of that is because that, yes, you didn't have any talent on the team last year, but you know the Bielema adage, you recruit your own problems, and that he went more to the disciplinary actions. But because you brought in Ben Hicks, who many thought was going to be the guy, and then all of a sudden Nick Starkel is on the market, you bring him too, this same term that Bielema used can be applied in this situation, where the fact that you've recruited your own problems, that you don't know who the starting quarterback is. If Ben Hicks was the only one on campus and Connor Nolan had retired from football and gone to baseball, Ben Hicks would be 100% your guy. But the fact that you now have both these guys that feel like they're QB1, and I'm not saying competition's bad, but it's made some up-in-the-air decisions a lot more difficult at this point.
Certainly has. And I know we got a lot of people texting and calling into the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's go to the phone lines. Robbie's in Jacksonville. What's going on, Robbie?
Actually, I'm up here in Northern Virginia. What's going on, John?
Not much, man. What's up?
Yeah, brother. Hey, so you didn't quite go scorched earth on the Hogs like Ty did last week, but let me tell you, man, this is now we're 0-9. We're 0-9 in the SEC play under Chad Morris, and it's not going to get any better. So here's the thing. Let me give you a scenario. We lose to Colorado State last year. You know, Colorado State's coming in on Saturday in Fayetteville. You know, they lost to Colorado in a rivalry game, but they put up over 30 points in both of their games. Let me tell you, when they come in, we better be on our A game, and we got to figure this thing out pretty quickly because this season could turn south. Because there's more talent showing up in the SEC this year than you've seen. LSU now is a force. I mean, Ole Miss. Oh my God, they're terrible. We played when they played Memphis last week. I watched that entire game, and let me tell you, they got pushed around left and right. We looked like we had no clue what's going on. Now our defense kept us in it, but dude, our offense, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I mean, we look like we're chasing an identity, running the Wildcat, you know, single back, you know, trying with no motion. It's like it's amateur hour. It's like, you know, somebody just got through watching a Friday night film and said, oh yeah, we're just going to implement this system. This is the one he ran at Clemson. This is the one he did at SMU. And it's like, you know, Chad Morris is trying to, you know, just on a whim figure out what's happening. This is going to end up really badly for him. I think he's a good coach in terms of, like, you know, motivating the fan base. But you're right. He recruited his own problem. By bringing Starkel in, he created, you know, an issue now where everyone and their mother can see that Starkel is the most talented quarterback sitting in that room. But he obviously didn't see that. He started Hicks anyway. So I don't know, man. It's like a really bad dream. And what my fear is that 2 0-8 seasons back to back by a lot of mismanagement by the coaching staff is going to put this fan base in disarray, and it's going to cause even more issues for the football program going forward.
Yeah, and the thing is, Robbie, and appreciate your phone call as always, man, and appreciate your reactions there. The thing is about Chad Morris right now is there has been nothing. I mean, listen, I know he can recruit, but there's been nothing as far as the offensive guru, the offensive genius that we've been led to believe that he is. There's been nothing that's been shown from that. Like, what is this offense's identity? What are they trying to accomplish? What are they trying to do? Because, listen, I'm watching this offense, and I can't figure it out. Like, they had some plays where, of course, the Wildcat I have my own thoughts on. I think it's dumb to ever run the Wildcat. Have the quarterback with the ball in your hand.
I don't know if I'd necessarily go that far, but I don't know if Rakeem Boyd is the back to do that.
But, I mean, who is the back to do that then?
I mean, I think there's guys that you can look in college football, but Arkansas, I mean, I think there was one. They had a third down play that they might have converted out of it, but there was, I mean, when you and I were sitting together watching the game with some buddies, and there was rarely a positive yardage situation that came out of the Wildcat.
No, yeah, it was that, and then they tried to do like a reverse pass that failed miserably. I mean, it's just like stuff like that is where it's like, okay, if you want to run it and if you want to do something like that, that's fine. But when you get too cute, it ends up costing you major yardage, especially when you feel like you need something to get going. I just feel like those are just ill-advised at that point in time. I understand trying to provide some excitement for the players to get them hyped up, but those are just ill-advised decisions at those point in time.
Okay, here's the point on that. That play would have worked, except C.J. O'Grady turned the wrong way, and Starkel threw it. I don't know if Woods didn't come back far enough where he was behind Starkel, or if Starkel threw it out in front of him, but it was a forward pass to begin with, and then...
Okay, so we're talking about two different plays. The one I'm talking about was the one they tried to run out of the Wildcat. Where they ran
Hicks. Okay,
yes.
See.
Yes. No,
okay.
The one you're talking about was also bad, but that was because Starkel threw a forward pass and it was going to be screwed no matter what.
Yeah, the Hicks play where he got blown up 10 yards in the backfield.
Yeah, that's the one I'm referring to. And it's those plays that, listen, if you want to ride the Wildcat and you want to do a little, an RPO with it or have some sort of end around where it goes to the outside, that's fine. But it's just your offense is struggling to do the basic things of establishing the run. And you're having drops again. You're just having everything questioned right now. Like, there is nothing that's off the table right now for Chad Morris and this offensive staff that is without question, and rightfully so. And I'm not saying they need to be fired or anything like that. For crying out loud, we're 2 games into the season. I'm getting a lot of people tweeting at me saying they need to fire Chad. We have people messaging in our stream saying fire Chad. That's what's fun about this reaction. It's all live reaction. But just remember, folks.
And it's all intelligent reaction.
Yeah,
as well.
yes, exactly. I'm sure no one's hammered when they're watching this. I mean, we may be for all we know. But the thing is,
I want to go out and say I'm sober, just 100%.
The thing is that this is a bad look, and this was a bad performance by a team that's supposed to be offensively driven by their head coach.
And I think that's what probably angers Arkansas fans the most. It would be
Makes
one
it
thing
worse.
if they had lost the game like 37-34. They'd still be mad. But what did we continuously tell fans on these radio stations all week long? That we took Chad Morris at his word that the offense was vanilla. Outside of the Wildcat, outside of maybe a few other different plays, how different was the offense this week? And I know they threw the ball downfield a little more like that, but I was hoping, and maybe it's because I got a chance to talk to Taj Boyd, Clemson quarterback, and maybe that talk was shoving into me, or some of the other former Chad Morris but players have really hopped on his bandwagon and say he's going to get it done. He's going to get it done. Well, folks, if we look at something, if we look at the sample size that we have at the U of A with Chad Morris, it's not good. It's didn't count that win last week. It's 3-11. It's 3-11. And if you look even back further to him as a head coach, 0-14 against Power 5 opponents. Let me reiterate
that fact.
Let me reiterate that. Chad Morris, as a head coach, this does not count the Clemson days with Dabo Swinney, doesn't count the Tulsa, 0-14 as a head coach against Power 5 opponents. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy to win against Power 5 opponents when you're at SMU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's even easier when you get to Arkansas. It should be a little easier, even though you're in the SEC. But that has to improve, and it has to improve this season, because there may be people out there that say, oh, you can still keep him after 0-16. John, you're exactly right. If he finishes his season 0-16, which I hope doesn't happen, but based off what we just saw could, the fact that Ole Miss from ESPN's Football Power Index was the easiest SEC opponent on your schedule, the most likely win for Arkansas, that's a potential out there that you don't want to have to talk about in a couple months, but actually you could. We could be wind up in a couple months talking about the decision that Hunter Yurachek has in front of him when it comes to an 0-16 football coach in the SEC because of how they performed tonight. It wasn't that they lost. It was that they got their ass kicked.
Well,
embarrassing.
Ole Miss is a bad team. I mean, they're not a good football team.
What did you keep saying at dinner? This is a game between two bad football teams. You probably said that 10 times.
Because it was bad.
And I think you used another word in between.
I mean, it was just a bad performance by both teams. The only difference was that one of the teams that were less bad ended up making the least amount of mistakes. And that's essentially what it came down to.
And they could have won by more. You know how many balls that Corral threw behind receivers that ended drives?
Oh, yeah.
Or a few mistakes that Ole Miss made?
It could have been a lot worse.
Props to Cam Curl returning that to the house and the defense for making a play, because John Chavis' squad at least gave Arkansas a chance to win tonight. They could have won by 40 points. And you think I'm exaggerating? You think I'm being embellishing a little bit? Go watch the game again and see how many times Ole Miss could have kept drives. They were stalled by a bad throw or a misplay or a penalty. Ole Miss could have beat Arkansas by 40 tonight.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse than what it was.
And it was lucky to be 31-17. That was the final score, right?
No, it's you're at final score is 31-17.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure before I say that and then it's not right.
Yeah,
31-17 because they had a late touchdown at the end.
Yeah.
It could have been 31-10.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino phone lines. Mike is in Albuquerque. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, John, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
Listen, first off, I think Starkel has to be named the starter tonight. I haven't heard a press conference that Chad Morris has given tonight, but last Saturday he said that Hicks would be the starter on Saturday. He didn't wait till Monday. So he needs to say that tonight, that Starkel is the starter. I don't know what's up with Devwah Whaley and Chase Hayden, but I feel like they're leftovers from Bielema, that they don't want to be there. That after that fumble that Devwah Whaley put on the ground, I feel like he had a chance to get it, and he didn't even try. And then he's over there on the sidelines arguing with Starkel about it. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of cohesion there. Somebody's got to own up to that. and nobody did. And as far as the defense, I mean, I think our defense is good, but the whole team is young. The only part of the team that's not young is the defensive line. And so the rest of the team is young. The secondary got picked apart because they're young. And then the offense is just, it's all young. So, I mean, we gotta give Chad Morris a little bit of patience. And I know that the offense was terrible until Starkel came in. But honestly, Hicks should have gotten 4 possessions. That's it, 4 possessions. You don't get him in the end zone, then Starkel comes in. You're right, he shouldn't have waited until the second half to put Starkel in. But, I mean, they were killing Rakeem. Rakeem couldn't get through there, and, I mean, he was just getting beat up. And, I mean, there's no way that you need to run a Wildcat, ever.
No.
Not with Rakeem, not with nobody. But yeah, I just think that it was a terrible game, terrible loss, but I do think that there are some positives to take out of it. There's got to be some positives. I mean, Starkel did really well. He was 71%. I don't know if he would have been that if he'd have played 3 quarters, but I mean, 71% is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think there's some upside, and we do have Colorado State next week. I think that's the next 2 games are very winnable and could put some confidence back into this team.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you're hoping for, Mike, and appreciate the phone call, man. I know it's a tough pill to swallow for any Razorback fan, but here's the thing, though. You got to give Chad Morris time, and I get that, and I understand that. And no one, and I hope no one, is legitimately saying they need to be fired tonight. That's not what needs to happen, nor should it even happen in the middle of the season unless just things go really south.
And now let's go and be clear on this. That's not what we're saying.
No, we're not saying that. But what I am saying, though, and I think that it is fair to criticize the performance we saw from this offense tonight. It is fair to question whether or not this offense has direction, has an identity. Those things are fair to question and criticize at this point in time. You pretty much only scored a touchdown tonight. Well, I know you did score a touchdown on offense, and it was in garbage time. Your other touchdown came from a scoop and score on defense. You had 2 field goal attempts. One of them you made by doinking inside of the goal, so you got lucky there, and the other one was a blatant miss. Your offense is a mess. It's an absolute mess.
Even what you thought was a sure thing, and Connor Limpert, the most successful field goal kicker percentage-wise in the history of Arkansas football, he missed tonight.
Yep.
And he banged one in off the upright that barely caroomed in. So It's not like he had his just fine day. You really just... I mean, can you point to a unit, special teams, defense, offense? Defense gave you enough to win, but it's not like they played worldly defense,
No.
SEC top-tier defense tonight. They just did enough to win. The offense.
This defense was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't world-beating, but it was good enough to win, and that's the problem. We're up against it, though, folks. We got to take a commercial break. If you want to get in on the conversation, be sure to call or text in to the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. We'll be taking all your phone calls and all your text messages coming up next on the Hog Reaction Show.
This is Hog Football Reaction, streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
You could be one roll away from $1 million. Head to Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs to play $1 million High Roller. Each Saturday in September, we'll draw 2 names every hour from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to toss 5 dice and win up to $1 million. That's 12 chances each Saturday to win $1 million. Earn entry September 1st to the 28th for your chance to become a millionaire. Only at Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs, U.S. Highway 412 and 59. The experience you deserve. See One Star Rewards Club for full rules and details.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Hog Football Reaction, streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
Hey folks, Amy Justice at Bill White Volkswagen. At Bill White, we don't just sell cars. We're selling a way of life, the Volkswagen way of life. The vehicle you drive says a lot about you, and VW say you're fun and you're up for an adventure. And at Bill White, we'll help get you in the right Volkswagen for you. Come see us at the corner of I-540 and 0 in Fort Smith at Arkansas's favorite place to buy a Volkswagen, Bill White Volkswagen.
I think you love that car more than you love me.
Oh, how can you say that?
You hand wash it, you hand wax it, you listen to the same music.
Pure coincidence.
I just hope your insurance company feels the same way about it as you do.
They do. I'm one happy camper.
Maybe that's the reason so many people come to Shelter for their car insurance. We have great agents who are nuts about cars. We're competitively priced, and our claims people are fast, fair, and friendly. To find an agent near you, go to shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Experience the charm and romantic atmosphere at Whitaker Weinkeller Restaurant and Wine Cellars in historic Whitaker Village. Enjoy old world charm in the candlelit wine cellar that dates back to 1880. Enjoy unique Swiss and German entrees, as well as tender, delicious steaks. Taste and sample Whitaker's award-winning wines. Celebrating 52 years as an Arkansas tradition, Whitaker Wine Cellars and Weinkeller Restaurant, open 7 days a week on Highway 186, 4 miles south off I-40 and exit 41.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Frank Rowe Furniture knows you are tired of all the back-to-school sales. So this September, we are going to do something different. Come into Frank Rowe Furniture and spin the wheel and win a free swivel recliner or get anywhere from 5 to 50% off at Frank Rowe Furniture. We also are now offering 0 down and up to 60 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Spin the wheel to win only at Frank Rowe Furniture. You always win at Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street in Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Hey hunters, fall hunting seasons are drawing near, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to make this year one to remember. Stop by and check out the bows, guns, stands, blinds, feeders, clothing, footwear, cameras, and so much more. Hurry in and start getting ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors, your premier locally owned outdoor store in the River Valley. Remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. Our special Razorback postgame coverage is presented by Bud Light, broadcasting live from the Cherokee Casino Mobile Studios.
Welcome back into the Hog Reaction Show. Got a lot of you calling in to our Cherokee Casino hotline. Call or text in 877-377-6963. Let's work through some of these phone calls. Robert's in Fort Smith. What's going on, Robert?
Hey, guys. I'm kind of with you on this, though, about him being an offensive-minded person. You know, we're supposed, vanilla, that's what we heard last week, and you're only running 40% of the playbook, and I brought this up on the noon show last week. We can't even run 40% right. Then we try a trick play, and it just blowed up in our face. And it's like, what? You're right. What direction is this offense? Because LSU, they were never an offensive power, and I know they're better than we are, but I'm just saying that offense, it's going in a direction where they're passing the ball a lot more than what you'd ever see LSU do. Mm-hmm. And you, like I said, we're not doing anything. We're just running the ball just like we normally do, like the Wildcat. And just nonsense. So I'm like y'all on this. So I was just, kind of my thoughts on it. Have a good one, guys.
Appreciate it, Robert, as always, man.
Joe Brady.
Yeah,
passing game coordinator, came from the Saints. I mean, if you got a chance, and I'm going to be honest, folks, I watched the entire Arkansas game tonight, but every chance we could flick it over to the Texas game and watch that Texas LSU game, I did it. And Joe Brady, what he's done is the passing game coordinator of that offense. I think Ensminger is still the OC, but Brady's taken over a lot. The 5 wide stuff you never see at LSU. Joe Burrow put it on Texas tonight. That is the best quarterback they've had in quite some time. I'd say Matt Flynn 07 when they won the national championship, but man, they look good from an offensive standpoint tonight. That's the best they played against a Power 5, top 10 conference opponent, or non-con in a lot, and even maybe conference from an offensive standpoint in quite some time.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. A lot more entertaining than Arkansas Ole Miss for sure. Let's go back to the phone lines. Arthur's in Russellville. What's going on, Arthur?
Here is the bush that everybody's running around that nobody wants to say that I'm going to say.
Okay.
This team is not being coached very well. It's as simple as that. That's the answer. I'm not saying you should fire Chad Morris. I'm not saying that at all. But that team's not coached. They're not being coached very well, and it doesn't matter if you have all the talent in the world. They're just not being coached. That's what it seems like to me. And if I'm not sure we're going to win another game. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know if we're going to win another game this year.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. It's bad. And if, we're supposed to give Chad Morris time, I'm not saying you should fire him now, but I don't know. If he goes 1-11, and this year, and we don't win another game, what are you going to do? I mean, that would be 3 and whatever for 2 years. And we still haven't won a conference game.
Yeah.
I just, he needs to find a quarterback and ride that quarterback. This switching quarterbacks back and forth, the receivers are dropping the ball, the timing is off. Okay, if you run the Wildcat one time and it doesn't work, then stick that play in your back pocket and forget about it. And that's what I mean when I say poor coaching, poor play calling, all of it. And I know we've got a young team, but it seems to me that it all boils down to coaching. And right now, Chad Morris is not showing me that he's a good football coach. And I'll thank you, and y'all have a good one.
Appreciate the phone call, Arthur. Here's the thing. I don't think Arkansas is going to lose every game the rest of the way. But I ain't guaranteeing any wins. I ain't going to sit here and guarantee that they're going to beat every team that they're supposed to. So that's the situation they find themselves in. It's quick phone call, PA in Texarkana. What's going on, PA?
This is the absolute worst coach team we've had since I'm 59 years old, and that this is the worst coached team. Well, except for the interim coach that we had the one year who will go unnamed about 7 or 8 years ago. But anyway, he really doesn't even count. But I've never. If you cannot discern the difference between number 17 and number 6 in 4 weeks of camp and see who the better player is, I don't care how much of the offense he knows. I mean, you just use the offense he does know.
Yeah.
And get those plays down. And we'll do a heck of a lot better than we're about to work.
Sorry, PA. We're up against it, man. More of the Arkansas Reaction Show coming up next.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Being the family superhero is a tireless job, constantly defending against monsters in the closet and grass so tall it swallows small children. But who's there for them if you're not? your local Shelter Insurance agent. With an insurance superhero sidekick, you can find a life insurance plan that helps provide a safety net for your family. Learn more at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
You could be one roll away from $1 million. Head to Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs to play $1 million High Roller. Each Saturday in September, we'll draw 2 names every hour from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to toss 5 dice and win up to $1 million. That's 12 chances each Saturday to win $1 million. Earn entry September 1st to the 28th for your chance to become a millionaire. Only at Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs, U.S. Highway 412 and 59. The experience you deserve. See One Star Rewards Club for full rules and details.
Hey hunters, fall hunting seasons are drawing near, and Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to make this year one to remember. Stop by and check out the bows, guns, stands, blinds, feeders, clothing, footwear, cameras, and so much more. Hurry in and start getting ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors, your premier locally owned outdoor store in the River Valley. Remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
60 is not that old, but when you're talking about a business, 60 proves you have the ability to keep your customers happy and change with the times. Guardtronic is celebrating their 60th year in business. Founded in 1959, Guardtronic has been securing homes all over the area for 60 years. Give them a call anytime. There's always someone there to get a free quote for securing your home. 785-2323 or guardtronic.com. Happy birthday, Guardtronic. License E050.
O'Reilly. A dead battery can leave you stranded, so get yours tested for free during Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Need a replacement? Purchase a Superstart Extreme or Superstart Platinum battery and get up to $25 in O'Reilly gift cards after a mail-in rebate. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fall has arrived. Back to school, football games, hunting season, and we know that you don't have the time to deal with an auto accident. Let Evans Body Shop help you through the process from beginning to end. Our caring office staff will take care of the insurance details, and our dedicated shop crew will make sure that your vehicle is repaired properly and beautifully, and that you are back on the road in no time. Come meet us today and see why we say we meet the nicest people by accident. Visit with us at 412 Gordon Avenue in Van Buren, just off Fayetteville Road.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Rediscover old world cuisine, charm, and a romantic atmosphere at Wiedeker Weinkeller Restaurant. Wiedeker's is the perfect treat for any occasion, whether it's close friends, family, or a perfect night with your special someone. Enjoy unique Swiss, German, and American entrees while sampling Wiedeker's award-winning wines. Celebrating 52 years as an Arkansas tradition, Wiedeker Wine Cellars and Weinkeller Restaurant open 7 days a week on Highway 186, 4 miles south of I-40 at Exit 41.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith. From the Bush and Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3. Welcome to the Hog Reaction Show. The only show where you can give your post-game takes on the air. Call or text into the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. Our reactions, your reactions, all the reactions start right now.
That's right. Welcome into Hog Reaction. You want to get on the conversation? Call or text in the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. John Neighbors alongside Ty Richardson. Lots of people upset with the performance there by the Razorbacks against Ole Miss, dropping the game 31-17. It was ugly, especially offensively. People are wondering, what in the world is this offense about? Well, we're kind of the same way, too. Got a lot of people calling in. Let's continue on with those phone calls and go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Charlie is in Bentonville. What's going on, Charlie?
Hey, this is Chadley.
Chadley, sorry about that.
That's right. All right, so just two things. Chad Morris in his presser last week, after the game, we won 2013, they asked him about the starter. He said, oh, yeah, Ben Hicks. He's for sure starting. This presser, after the performance, Ben Hicks was just the same as he was last week, atrocious. And then Starkel comes in, he performs well. I think he threw pretty close to the same yard totals as Ben Hicks has in a game and a half. And he says it's not the time and place to name a starter for next week. And I'm like, it was blatantly obvious. Starkel was, just the eye test, he was way beyond better than Hicks. And I don't think he understands Arkansas fans. We don't have anything else to listen to. We don't have any other noise in the state.
Yeah.
We hang on to Razorback football and what the coach says. He needs to be careful about what he says, because that's one thing that's going to really, really, really upset Arkansas fans when he says one thing and then says another, and then we listen to that stuff. And it's not the if he was a little bit more honest about and more transparent. I don't think he's being very, very transparent as a coach. And that's one thing that will really, really, really get him in trouble, is not being transparent. If he's being fake or, kind of selling sunshine, we don't like that very much. So, yeah, I think Starkel should be the starter next week.
Yeah. Well, appreciate the phone call, Charlie. And I think that's one thing that's also rubbing Razorback fans the wrong way is you hear one thing in these practices or in these scrimmages, and then you hear Coach Morris say these things and about how they're improving, they're getting better, and even when he comes in and talking about the offense and how it's going to be this new electric and entertaining thing, and it's not, and it doesn't even look like you're trying to make it that way. And if you are trying to make it that way, it certainly ain't working. It's legitimate that people have these concerns about, okay, or do you know what you're doing? I mean, that's a simply put. Do you know what you're doing? It's not that people hate you for it. It's not what people think that you're an idiot or think you're a bad coach. They're just asking you, what are you doing? What is this? What are you trying to accomplish right now? Because none of us can figure it out.
And to Chadwick's point and talking about how Razorback fans cling onto everything the head football coach says, he's exactly right. You think where he was coaching just a few short years ago at SMU. You got the Mavs, you got the Stars, and you got the stinking Cowboys, and then you got high school football. I would argue that in terms of relevance, in terms to attention, SMU is almost a downgrade from an Allen, Texas, or a Stephenville, or a Lake Travis, some of the places that Chadwick, he didn't coach at Allen, but the other two he did, high school football. You don't have a ton of media members flocking to go to the SMU football conference. You don't have all these different fans getting on message boards, getting on different websites concerning the SMU football, because it's not that big of a deal. But here in this state, at the University of Arkansas, football is king. Everywhere, every corner of this state, every part of this state, you'll find at least one Razorback team, even in the tiniest of towns, and most of you are going to be heavily populated. They attach to every team. Football is the lifeline of this state. And in about a year and 3/4, more than a year and a half, I'd say about a year and 3/4 since he's arrived. He's got hired in December, or was it January?
It was in December.
Yeah. I don't know if he still grasped that yet. I don't get it. I don't know if someone needs to tell him how important every single fan takes everything he says, because he's taking such a big step forward, not in terms of the conference going from the AAC to the SEC, but in terms of just fans paying attention and holding on to everything he says or doesn't say, kind of like Chadwick was referencing to.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Marlon is calling from Mississippi. What's going on, Marlon?
How's it going, guys? I just want to bring up a couple things. I was at the game, and I was sitting directly behind the defensive bench.
Mm-hmm.
The first observation that I made was McClellan was throwing up after the second series into a trash can. That further lets me that they were getting gassed even after the first couple of possessions that Ole Miss had. And I also want to bring up the point that if your offense isn't moving the ball, your defense can only play so well and keep you in the game for so long until Ole Miss's team pretty much just ran all over us, and they made it look easy because we were tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another point that I want to make is that this is coaching. This is a coaching issue. I'm not saying that we need to fire Coach Chad Morris at all, but I'm saying that he should be competent enough to understand that Ben Hicks is not the answer. And it's obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Starkel came into the game and immediately gave us a spark, and it makes me think, what would our offense have looked like if he started the game?
Yeah.
Would our offense have been in the end zone before our defense got tired to the point that they couldn't guard anybody or break through the line? There was zero. I didn't see any blitzes unless it was a third down that Ole Miss was running, but it was too late. You know what I mean? I feel like they made coaching decisions that put us in a hole and tried to compensate for it by throwing the ball down the field when the game was already over. Thank y'all for listening, man.
Hey, appreciate the phone call, Marlon. And that's, again, goes back to it, is the whole situation with Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel. It's like when people see that and they see the difference that was made when Starkel came in and just how under Hicks you couldn't get anything going, people start legitimately questioning if Chad Morris has a grasp on what it takes to be a quality quarterback, especially in the SEC. Because, listen, there's no question that Nick Starkel is better than Ben Hicks. And if he does not, and I repeat, if he does not name Nick Starkel starting quarterback Monday at noon in his press conference, there should be legitimate questions and criticisms about his ability to lead this team to success. Because that's one of those glaring issues where it's like, yeah, you don't know what goes in and out. No, I don't know what goes in and out, but what I do know is what happens on the field. And what happened on the field is you had one quarterback outperform the other in both games, essentially. I know we didn't get a lot of Starkel in game one, but you could just tell. You can use your eye test, and you can just tell that Nick Starkel's the guy. And I think it's as simple as that. We wait for this phone call. We got to go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. I got to figure out exactly how this guy's feeling. Eddie is in Clarksville. Good evening, Eddie.
Good evening, gentlemen. I cried this afternoon, sir, tonight, for this fan base, for this program, for our coaches, for our players, and mostly for the fan base. It's clearly we're not evident. I've been calling in the last few weeks, and I've been using the slogan, will you answer the bell? And I've seen how far in a program yet we have to go. Coach Morris, sir, you're the good shepherd of this program. You have to start making decisions that win us ball games, and that's not taking place. And you're the head coach, and you have to take the heat. It was evident to me we wasted a whole half with Ben Hicks. I mean, it's evident he does not have the arm strength. It's nothing against a young man. It's not a vendetta against a young man. It's about who's a better quarterback that can get us downfield and score touchdowns. That's what it's about. And clearly, it's Mr. Nick Starkel. And if you don't name him the starter next week, shame on you, sir. Because it's about wins in this program. As I say, I've been through it before. I'll always be a Hawk fan, sir. I'm dejected. I'm emotionally drained. I wake up every day with hog delight. Anybody will tell you, I wake up every day, sir, with to the fan base with hog delight in my heart. I take great pride in this program, and if we lose to Colorado State because you don't put Nick Starkel as a starting quarterback, oh, you don't hear it. Thank you for taking my call for the fan base. I've been through it before. It's not easy doing the whole thing. I heard it tonight. Hats off, though, I will say, to Ole Miss. Their fan base was so much tonight a big part of their win as anything else. And I sat in the stands over there. Like I said, I cry inside, I cry outside, cry all the way to the car because we're not ready as a program. They didn't step up and answer. You cannot miss blocks. You cannot miss tackles. You cannot drop passes. You cannot fumble the ball. You cannot do the things that you done tonight to get you beat. And that's what happened. You win and lose as a team. And so we got to play better. I mean, you play for a higher calling than just yourself. And I don't know when that's going to take place. So for the fan base, God bless you. Stay aboard the Hawk train and maybe maybe I'm going to get to my knees again and start praying, because we need lots of prayer for this coaching staff and this football team. Thank you for taking my call.
Well, appreciate it, Eddie. And I know that a lot of Razorback fans feel the same way you do. Very dejected, very hopeless. You know, it's a game that doesn't define the season, because I think that there's going to be opportunities you can step back. I still think that you have a couple of SEC games where I'm not saying you'll for sure win, but you at least got a puncher's chance. I think Kentucky is a winnable SEC game. I think Mississippi State can be a winnable SEC game. I don't think that this is just shutting the door on getting any sort of victory in the SEC, but it certainly felt like this was your best chance. And going up against a team that's not very good, and that was the performance that you put forth offensively, it's just not inspiring hope. Because here's the numbers, because we haven't really got into the stats, but here's the numbers. Ben Hicks went 7 of 16 for 98 yards. Nick Starkel went 17 of 24 for 200 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's night and day. It's completely different. Rakeem Boyd rushed for 17 carries, 71 yards. He only averaged 3.9 yards a carry. Devwall Whaley had 2 carries for 2 yards. Davion Warren had 1 carry for 12 yards. I mean, he didn't even have a carry for that. So, I mean, it's something that when you look at the stats, it tells a very telling tale. I mean, it tells you that this offense is not ready for SEC play. It's not ready to go up against SEC competition. Now, again, that's not to say that it won't be as the season goes on. And maybe if Nick Starkel's named the quarterback, which he should be, maybe that'll spark you to where you start really getting the offense going. But after a performance like that, you just can't, as a Razorback fan, you just can't feel good and hopeful about the rest of the year.
Boy, wouldn't you love to have Tennessee on your schedule right now? Yeah. For those who don't know, they lost in either overtime or double overtime to BYU. I think it was double OT. And Jeremy Pruitt, and there was a great picture of Philip Fulmer when he's going up on the press conference. And I know you and I talked before we came on how Hunter Yurchek was in attendance for Chad Morris's press conference, and he can't feel good right now. I know he didn't hire Chad Morris, but he wants Chad Morris to succeed.
Yeah.
He wants him to have a good football team, and frankly, that isn't the case right now.
Yeah.
No athletic director, unless they genuinely have disdain for their head football coach, wants to have to think about or consider firing someone or making another decision. Like unless there's something I don't know about Hunter Yurchek, I'm going to assume he did not take pleasure in firing Mike Anderson earlier this year. That's one of the parts of the job. But that must have been a really awkward situation. And as you talked about earlier this week, Ray Tanner was asked about Will Muschamp's buyout. I guarantee you that Whole Hog Sports or someone is going to come out with Chad Morris's contracts, not stipulations, but their example, the measures, whatever it's inside the contract. I'm trying to think of
terms.
Yeah, the terms. That's the word I'm looking for. And put that out for people this week, because there's going to be people clamoring for it. You and I know he should not be fired. There should not be a buyout that's taking place this week, but people are going to be asking for it after that performance.
Yeah, no one's saying Chad Morris needs to be fired, but people who are criticizing Chad Morris and have legitimate criticisms of him, I'm all game for it. I mean, I think the door is wide open for it, and it's not completely understandable. If you want to give those criticisms, you want to give your reactions to Arkansas's loss to Ole Miss, be sure to call or text into the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. We'll get to all your phone calls and text messages and a lot more coming up next. Stay with us.
This is Hog Football Reaction, streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
You could be one roll away from $1 million. Head to Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs to play $1 Million High Roller. Each Saturday in September, we'll draw 2 names every hour from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to toss 5 dice and win up to $1 million. That's 12 chances each Saturday to win $1 million. Earn entry September 1st through the 28th for your chance to become a millionaire. Only at Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs, U.S. Highway 412 and 59. The experience you deserve. See One Star Rewards Club for full rules and details.
Weather hits, the right wiper blades make all the difference. That's when the Michelin Man is on your side, helping you see better and drive safer with new Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. Designed with exclusive SmartFlex technology or frameless beam design, Michelin blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you unparalleled, streak-free, long-lasting, all-season performance. So when the going gets tough, be ready with Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. It's a difference you can see. Available at Walmart and other fine retailers.
This is Hog Football Reaction, streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
At Shelter Insurance, we know landlords have to keep up with their renters, even if they're related.
Mom, Dad, what a surprise. We just dropped by to pick up your
rent check.
Oh, I'm running a little short this month.
Not everything works as smoothly as Shelter's renter's policy. It helps cover stuff in case of fire, theft, and more.
Maybe I should just move back home. Don't you love me? Oh, of course.
But now your room's Dad's man cave.
Oh, man.
Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call me, Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
In Fort Smith, call me, Jeff Clark.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Coors Light presents A Word from Kirk Herbstreit.
It's Saturday morning, and that means it's time for college football. It means your fridge is filled with Coors Light. It means last night's pizza is this morning's breakfast. And washing it down with your first Coors Light of the day is worthy of an It's Saturday morning, and it means showers are optional.
Make Saturday mornings even more chill with a fridge full of Coors Light, the official beer of Saturday morning. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Football season is here at Crabtree RV in Alma. We make tailgating with your favorite team very affordable, with discounts up to $15,000 off new fifth wheels and $10,000 off new travel trailers. Check out deals like the new Catalina with patio for as low as $249 a month. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and explore the new 2020 styles from Grand Design and Coachman Freedom Express. That's only at Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
Introducing Wrangler Outdoor. Pants and shirts that keep you dry and comfortable in all conditions. Featuring quick-drying, water-repellent fabric and UPF protection, Wrangler Outdoor ensures you're ready for wherever the day takes you, whether it's a walk in the city or a trek in the wilderness. Wrangler Outdoor, clothing with everyday versatility and outdoor credibility.
What's wrong, dear?
I'm tire shopping, and nobody knows anything about tires.
Jody'sAuto.com sells tires.
Where we get our vehicles fixed?
And oil changes and maintenance.
What kind of tires do they sell?
Everything, all major brands. But it's the people.
Well, they've always been great with my truck.
And that's exactly how they are with tires. They know their stuff and can get you great tires at the best prices. Price match guarantee. You can see all the tires on their website, Jody'sAuto.com. Free flat repair and free road hazard.
And how do you know all this?
Because women understand two things a whole lot better than men, convenience and trust. Jody'sAuto.com can do everything to my car. One stop, including tires, and I trust them.
That's it, convenience and trust. Best of the best trust. Jody'sAuto.com, 3 locations, 3 oil change specials, one stop for tires, service, repairs, maintenance, towing, and fleets. Since 1984, convenience and trust. Jody'sAuto.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call Kohler and Green Insurance in Fort Smith, 484-9888, and in Van Buren, 474-9888, and online at KohlerGreen.com.
ESPN 95.3.
Our special Razorback postgame coverage is presented by Bud Light, broadcasting live from the Cherokee Casino Mobile Studios.
Welcome back into Arkansas Reaction. I guess it's Hog Reaction, Arkansas Game Day, whatever it is. You know what we're talking about. We're reacting to the game, dadgummit, and this is what we've been doing. And we've gotten a lot of great calls and text messages. Keep those coming here on the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. We're brought to you by Cherokee Casino and Hotel. Start your weekend off right. You can join them on Fridays for your chance to win a share of the $4,500 cash pot. And also every Saturday in September is Light Up the Night with their fabulous $68,000 Vegas nights. You can also come and hear the feel-good tunes of Uncle Kracker coming in on September 26th at Lee Creek Tavern. Again, that's at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Roland in West Island. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what to say. I thought I read it right, but then I said Cherokee Casino. Never mind. This is really early for me. Usually, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so usually in bed by 6 hours ago. So that's okay.
Did we have one of these last year? I think we just had one where we went till 1 a.m.
No, I think we had two.
We had two?
Yeah, because we had the Colorado State game that went at 6:30, and then the LSU game was at 6:30.
That's
so
right.
It didn't happen very often last year, but at least had one here. Our phone lines are lit up, and we're going to continue to work through those. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Bay Razorback is calling in from Tampa. What's going on, man?
Hey, good evening, guys.
Good evening.
You guys, you think it's late there? I'm on the East Coast over here, so it really feels weird.
I bet so, man.
About Razorback football. Yeah. I basically got two takes, and they're unrelated, but I think they're related at the end. The first one is that, he's supposed to be the offensive guy, and we were kind of like sold that Malzahn 2.0 mentality, and it's been overstated, but we still just don't see anything. And the other thing is that, as far as being an SEC offense, we have, it's nothing. 14 points basically against Portland State and Ole Miss, and we got the touchdown at the end after the game was out of hand tonight. But there's just zero there. So that's number one. And number two, I think that his problem, and I think this was part of Bielema's problem too at the end, was that the fan base is going to turn against him, and that makes the job so much more difficult when you don't have our fan base, because our fan base is actually pretty significant as far as their impact on the team's performance in Arkansas. I think that's like one of the unique things about Arkansas. You go back to the way that we performed for basketball and the Bud and Baumwalker. Our fan base impacts the games and or the team, and ultimately the games. And once it turns, I just think it's such a big problem. If you got a coach who's not great to begin with, it makes it much more difficult for him to have success.
Yeah, and I see what your point is, and appreciate your phone call, Bay Razorback, man. It's tough when the fans turn on you, and I don't know if all the fans are turning on Chad Morris right now. I know there's a good bit of them that are hopping off the bandwagon, starting to feel like this is just not working out. Which again, it's crazy recent reaction that people are having. It's raw reaction. I don't think everybody's doing that, but there are some, and that's what's going to make it more difficult. But at the same time, if you're Chad Morris, you're getting paid a lot of money. You're an SEC coach. Fans demand results. And if you're not producing any results, fans are going to turn on you. And Chad Morris knows the situation he walked into was not an easy one. And he also has to realize that going 2-10 last year, the worst record in Razorback football history, it puts him really behind the eight ball. So you got to show something. You got to show something that gives Razorback fans hopeful, because they don't feel hopeful right now. They don't feel good about anything.
You look back to last season, the LSU game, that was probably one of the poorest performances the Tigers had last season. But that game was close. Arkansas kind of came back in the end. The Texas A&M close. That Arkansas made that a game last year. There were some games that they made a game. The Ole Miss game, they should have won. But the idea, especially heading into this game, John, was that almost everyone that I spoke to, almost every social media prediction I saw, even if Arkansas or Ole Miss was picked to win, no one picked it at a deficit like this.
No, and it was be close.
And it was 31-17. That's not a giant deficit. It's a 14-point ball game, but that game was not close for the majority of it.
No.
Ole Miss took over in the second half, and I think Arkansas fans are not irritated that they lost. Yes, some of them are. They felt like they should have beat Ole Miss, but how they lost, because you just got your butt kicked.
Yeah.
That's about as blunt as you can put it, but that's what happened tonight. When you have a guy in Matt Corral, who I get it was on the road, and Memphis treats that game with a lot of significance because it's a rival, but Arkansas and Ole Miss are a rival, and they shut him down last week. He had some success against Arkansas tonight. That running game, Scotty Phillips, Ely, the other, I think it's another freshman kid, they had success against Arkansas tonight. It was a poor performance, and that's what people point to. That's why people are angry. Not because of the loss, but how you lost.
Yeah.
I know the phrase is like you'd rather win ugly than lose pretty, but sometimes just to give fans hope, like there would be some hope tonight if it was a 31-27 ball game or a close ball game, but it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it was an ugly game from all accounts, and you can't feel good about ugly. No one feels good about ugly. Let's go back to the phone lines. Lisa's calling from Northeast Arkansas. Lisa, I certainly hope you are not on the Memphis Bridge right now.
We have went over the Memphis Bridge. I did not jump.
All right,
but
good deal.
Let me tell you what I witnessed. And the caller bought the call, and I've listened to every bit of it. Y'all have done a good job,
Thank
and
you.
the callers have remained calm. But let me tell you what's happened. The first half, when they ran to the locker room, Chad Morris ran in front of the Razorback fans, I was there. I was one of the dumb idiots that drove down here and sat in the heat and watched this mess. They booed him. The fans booed him. And like the man earlier said, in Arkansas, when the coach loses the fans, you've got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I've already got season ticket spots, so I'm over the fire. But I'm not going to another game this year. My tickets are free. I'll give them to somebody that's never been, that can take their family, but I'm done.
Wow.
Okay, the second half, we all were screaming at the top of our guts, put Starkle in. Ben Hicks couldn't walk on his own. It was pitiful, pitiful. And Ole Miss is not even that good, guys. They're not. But we made them look like world beaters. I'm down. I'm disappointed. And this is gonna piss a lot of people off. But I'm saying go after Bobby Petrino, beg him back, keep the girls away from him, and give him the team. I want to win. I'm almost 61 years old. I don't care who he sleeps with. But this guy can't get it done. Now, y'all, he can't. He's not an SEC coach. I'm sorry. He may be a nice guy. He may be all this. But I'm not paying for anywhere from $400 a game for gas and motels and everything else to go watch what I watched tonight. It was pitiful.
Well, Lisa, I can't blame you for feeling the way you did. And
I'm sorry to come over here and say some of the things I said. I don't normally do that, and y'all know I don't. But it was pitiful. I mean, we booed him. And it wasn't just me. It was every Arkansas fan in that place. We sat through heat. We went to the walkthrough. We encouraged them. We hugged them. And then he comes out with a game plan. Run Raheem Boyd up the middle. Run Raheem Boyd up the middle. I mean, it was atrocious. I could have done better. Now, I know y'all are laughing about that. I could have done the money he's making, and he can't figure out by now who the best quarterback is. He should be fired by in the morning, and we should name, I don't care who you put in, and cut our losses, fish and cut bait, and move on and look for a coach. That's what Tennessee, I guarantee you Tennessee's coach will be fired by in the morning, and they'll start looking for a coach. We better get busy, because we ain't got the right guy. Now, did I hear y'all say a while ago that Hunter Yurachek did not, my son-in-law sitting in front of me driving, did y'all say that Hunter Yurachek did not hire Chad Morris?
Right, he did not hire Chad Morris.
Who hired Chad Morris?
That would be the Board of Trustees and Julie
The Board of Trustees? Okay, they made a terrible, terrible decision.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know y'all think listen, I've been down there since 9 o'clock this morning in this heat, and then watching the mess I watched, and then Chad Moore standing out there looking like he didn't know. I don't even think he knew he was in Oxford, Mississippi. And the Razorbacks are on top of my family. They're my life.
Yeah.
And then he comes in. I'm down. I'm disappointed. I need somebody to call in and give me some hope. And thank you for taking my call. I appreciate everything y'all do.
Well, Lisa, as always, we appreciate your phone call. We're glad you didn't jump off the Memphis Bridge. We're also sorry that you had to make that trip to Oxford and be in that heat for the entire time. But as always, appreciate your takes. But Lisa is done. D-U-N, done.
And she is a Bobby Petrino apologist. Just a reminder, Bobby P is going to be speaking at the Little Rock Touchdown Club with David Basil on Monday.
I'm going to that, by the way, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see if there's any signs being made or anything like that.
That's going to be buck wild. That's sold out, 600 plus, and I think in the Doubletree Hotel. There's going to be some interesting.
I think it's the Embassy Suites, isn't it?
It said Doubletree on the article I read.
Oh.
Maybe it changed.
Maybe it's changed from last year. It was in the Embassy last year, so I don't know.
It could have changed.
But it should be very interesting, no doubt. I know we got more phone calls to get to, folks. We got to take a commercial break. We'll come back, and we'll get into all of those. If you want to call in or text into the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. More of the Hog Reaction Show coming up.
This is Hog Football Reaction. Streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
You could be one roll away from $1 million. Head to Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs to play $1 Million High Roller. Each Saturday in September, we'll draw 2 names every hour from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to toss 5 dice and win up to $1 million. That's 12 chances each Saturday to win $1 million. Earn entry September 1st through the 28th for your chance to become a millionaire. Only at Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs, U.S. Highway 412 and 59. The experience you deserve. See One Star Rewards Club for full rules and details.
Weather hits, the right wiper blades make all the difference. That's when the Michelin Man is on your side, helping you see better and drive safer with new Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. Designed with exclusive SmartFlex technology or frameless beam design, Michelin blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you unparalleled, streak-free, long-lasting, all-season performance. So when the going gets tough, be ready with Michelin Premium Wiper Blades. It's a difference you can see. Available at Walmart and other fine retailers.
This is Hog Football Reaction. Streaming live now from hitthatline.com.
Being the family superhero is a tireless job, constantly defending against monsters in the closet and grass so tall it swallows small children. But who's there for them if you're not? Your local Shelter Insurance agent. With an insurance superhero sidekick, you can find a life insurance plan that helps provide a safety net for your family. Learn more at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
You could be one roll away from $1 million. Head to Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs to play $1 Million High Roller. Each Saturday in September, we'll draw 2 names every hour from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to toss 5 dice and win up to $1 million. That's 12 chances each Saturday to win $1 million. Earn entry September 1st through the 28th for your chance to become a millionaire. Only at Cherokee Casino and Hotel West Siloam Springs, U.S. Highway 412 and 59. The experience you deserve. See One Star Rewards Club for full rules and details.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
60 is not that old, but when you're talking about a business, 60 proves you have the ability to keep your customers happy and change with the times. Guardtronic is celebrating their 60th year in business. Founded in 1959, Guardtronic has been securing homes all over the area for 60 years. Give them a call anytime. There's always someone there to get a free quote for securing your home. 785-2323 or guardtronic.com. Happy birthday, Guardtronic. License E050.
O'Reilly
A dead battery can leave you stranded, so get yours tested for free during Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Need a replacement? Purchase a Superstart Extreme or Superstart Platinum battery and get up to $25 in O'Reilly gift cards after a mail-in rebate. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fall has arrived. Back to school, football games, hunting season, and we know that you don't have the time to deal with an auto accident. Let Evans Body Shop help you through the process from beginning to end. Our caring office staff will take care of the insurance details, and our dedicated shop crew will make sure that your vehicle is repaired properly and beautifully, and that you are back on the road in no time. Come meet us today and see why we say we meet the nicest people by accident. Visit with us at 412 Gordon Avenue in Van Buren, just off Fayetteville Road.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Rediscover Old World cuisine, charm, and a romantic atmosphere at Wiedeker Wine Keller Restaurant. Wiedeker's is the perfect treat for any occasion, whether it's close friends, family, or a perfect night with your special someone. Enjoy unique Swiss, German, and American entrees while sampling Wiedeker's award-winning wines. Celebrating 52 years as an Arkansas tradition, Wiedeker Wine Cellars and Wine Keller Restaurant open 7 days a week on Highway 186, 4 miles south of I-40 at exit 41.
ESPN 95.3. Our special Razorback postgame coverage is presented by Bud Light, broadcasting live from the Cherokee Casino Mobile Studios.
Welcome back into the Hog Reaction Show. Appreciate everybody listening in, not only on ESPN 95.3, 106.3, and 104.3, also ESPN 99.5 up in Northwest Arkansas. Streaming live at hitthatline.com. We're on Periscope. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. We are on everything, and we appreciate all of you listening in and giving us all your reactions. We're going to continue that. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Dan is in Fayetteville. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, boys? You've been doing good all night. So right now, what I've got to deal with is I'm behind Lisa, directly behind her, on the bridge, and I have jumped off. I am in the river. We've got the whole, we've got SWAT team out here. We've got lifeguard, Coast Guard. They're tossing me anything they can find to keep me afloat, and I am just ignoring it. I am saying, let me drown. Because you know what? Other people deserve to live besides this fan base. My gosh. Do you remember about a year ago, I was pounding the table for Chad Morris. He came into here, he said, left lane, hammer down. Left lane, hammer down. Mm-hmm. You know what he's done since he got here? He's been right lane. At one point, we took my grandma's keys away. She was 85 years old. I think it's about time to pull his keys. He's had his flashers on, wipers on. He's going 44 miles an hour in the right lane. I cannot believe this. At some point, you have got to understand that you've made a mistake, and at that time, you've got to pull it back and say, how long can we start before the sticks hit? I mean, is it just me? I know Ty's a rom-com guy. I know he is. I've seen his tweets. Have Ty seen the Titanic?
Yeah.
The end of the Titanic, there's plenty of room on that thing on the ocean, whatever you want to call it. And the guy says there's no room. He lets his wife float away. He lets her. She's safe. That's me right now. I could have climbed up on that, but I said, leave me in the river. Leave me in the river.
So, man, you are all in on just letting it go, man. You have let go of the rope completely, huh? Did we lose Dan? Okay. Well, sorry about that, Dan. Well, appreciate you calling in, Dan. Appreciate your thoughts, man.
How's his phone working in the river if you jumped in?
That's what I was saying. Maybe when he didn't respond, it was like maybe he jumped into the river. But that was a good one, Dan. That one was pretty entertaining. But again, I get where your frustration's coming to play. Let's go back to the phone lines. Connor's in Fayetteville. What's going on, Connor?
Hey, man, how's it going? We are at the game down in Ole Miss, and there's a lot of Razorback fans there. We got some of the best fans in the nation. But anyway, there are only two people to blame for the the state of what our program's in right now, and their names are Brett Bielema and Jeff Long. We are young, and we're fresh out there. We're not going to win the SEC with that right now. And for any idiot that wants to fire Chad Morris because of this, I mean, the guy went 2-10 last year and had a top 25 recruiting class. It just takes time. And, you know, if you talk about things really going south, that'll happen if you fire Chad Morris after this year. And that's just stupid. I think you got to give him time. And, yeah, tonight was bad. We were there, and it hurt me because I'm a big Razorbacks fan. But you got to give him time. And I'd like to see anybody call the offensive plays, and you got an offensive line that looks like that. You can't do it because they're all freshmen. Thank you, and Woo Pig.
Appreciate the phone call, Connor. And appreciate the optimism, too, because – to be honest, there's not a lot of optimism going around for Razorback fans right now. And again, I'm not going to criticize anybody for still, you know, not saying you have a lot of hope for the season, but just for kind of sticking back and saying, hey, still feel okay about it. I'm not going to blame anybody for that, but I'm also not going to blame anybody for, I don't know if I'll go all in on Lisa and Dan, but just saying, you know what, until I've improved something, until I am shown something from Chad Morris, I'm not feeling good about it. I'm not going to be all in on Chad Morris right now. And I get it from both sides. It's just these are the types of losses, and in the way that they performed in this loss, that makes you scratch your head and just say, what are we doing? Where are we going? Where's the direction? Where's the feeling? Where's the passion? Where's the left lane hammer down? Where's all of that? So, you know, that's what I'm wondering is where is it all going? So people who are questioning that, we're all on the same page.
What can you point to at Chad Morris's tenure at Arkansas that you can get excited about outside of the Alabama game on offense, not on defense, because you gave up 60-plus points?
You talking about which offensive performance that he's given?
Offensively, what piece can you point to? Chad Morris at Arkansas. I'm not talking about going back to Taj Boyd at Clemson.
Right.
I'm not talking about going to Ben Hicks at SMU. I'm talking about what game. What I'll give you a half. Can you point to like, man, that was the Chad Morris offense? You and I kept looking at each other tonight. It's like, when's the tempo going? Ole Miss was tempo. Rich Rod's in his first year at OC. They were actually running tempo. They didn't even put the hammer down tonight from an offensive standpoint. Like I think Arkansas fans, like if you're gonna look, coaches have their rhetoric, they have their sayings, they have all that. But back up what you're trying to say, and I know your defense was tired, but even when Arkansas was having success offensively, I felt like they were just moderately moving. Now, they weren't Brett Bielema, line up, huddle, take 30, 35 seconds of the play clock and going like that. But maybe that might be too long. But, man, it felt like that this football team never continuously put the pedal to the metal and went. And like, can you find something, like, just off the top of your head? Because you might have just looked it up now and then.
No, I can't.
That should worry you. We're in game 14.
Well, and see, and that's the problem that I have, and it goes back to the identity. Because, listen, and I hate to keep drawing comparisons, but it's just the reality of what's the situation you're in. When Bobby Petrino came in his first year, he did not have the entire roster set to what he was trying to run, but you had an idea of what he was trying to do. Even Brett Bielema. You know, the Pillsbury Doughboy comes in, and he still at least gives you an idea of what he's trying to do. It may not be successful all the time, but they give you an idea of what they're trying to do. Chad Morris, since he's arrived, I have not seen anything that's given me or any of the fans an idea of what they're trying to do offensively. I know that they have formations. I know that they do some RPO. I know all of that. But what are you trying to accomplish? And also, who is actually calling the plays? Is Joe Craddock really having the say in the play calling? Is he doing it? Is it Chad Morris? Is it a combination of both? That's another question I have, because it's never been really clear exactly who is responsible for the play calling. I know Chad Morris has the final say, but who's actually getting the guys with the poster boards, the signals, and them signaling in and all that? Who is the guy? Because if it is Joe Craddock, maybe he needs to be reined back a little bit. Or if it's Chad Morris, you're even got bigger problems than you know what to deal with.
Well, we heard Chad Morris talking about a press conference, and I know it's before the season. I can't give you an exact date, but he said, I'm more involved in the offense than I've ever been. Those exact words came out of his mouth. So I can't tell you the degree of how much he's involved. Is he's getting 60-40 of the say, 70-30, 80-20, if he's just getting the whole thing and Craig's just a poster boy at this point. And again, this is something that we're not in practice. We don't hear what they're saying to each other, so we can't distinctly tell the listeners this is how it's happening. But I think that the offense, from the standpoint, they haven't done exactly what you were talking about earlier. They haven't done what they said they were supposed to do. There's two forms of rhetoric that have come out of the Arkansas head basketball coach and head football coach. What's the basketball coach? What's that phrase been with Musselman? What's it
Pace
been?
and space.
Pace and space. Chad Morris's system, it's called smash mouth spread. It's where, similar to, I'm trying to think, I guess Clemson is the best example because that's where he's from, that you have, look what Travis Etienne can do. The guy busted 1,000 yards last year. I think he had like 18 rushing touchdowns or whatever. That is a physical football team up front. Yes, they have high-flying Trevor Lawrence and some of the best wide receivers in college football, but they want to establish the run game first and then light you up for the air. That's what Chad Morris and his staff want to do. They want to establish a smash-mouth spread football team where the run is a major factor. And you have a guy in Rakeem Boyd who has the ability to get rushing yards, make some plays, which we saw some tonight, but they haven't gotten really much out of anything else to this point. And I'll go back to the point I made with you earlier. Outside of the Alabama game, point to a game offensively at Arkansas that you're like, man, that's the Chad Morris offense. That's the style we've been hearing about at SMU, at Clemson, the year at Tulsa, his glory days in high school. That's the guy that we hired to get things going at Arkansas. You haven't had that yet, man.
Nope.
You just haven't.
Nope. And that's where Pete fans are struggling with their belief in Chad Morris because they have nothing to point to at this point in time. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Billy is calling from California. What's going on, Billy?
Guys, it's a rough night to be a Razorback fan. I'm just going to tell you, and I agree with everything you say. There has not been one game in Chad Morris's 2 years that we've seen that we can have anything that we can point to that's like, that gets you excited. And I'm not saying that he can't do it. I don't know. I just know we've had. I don't know about getting rid of him at this. I don't want to get him to go right now because I dang sure don't want another Brett Bielema. I don't want some other knucklehead coming running our program until they find someone. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I know one thing. Like you guys said, if this guy is the guy, and he's going to be the one to, he better get his buddy because I kind of feel like he's being like, I don't know if he's being stubborn because like you said, because Ben Hicks was his guy at SMU, so he's going to stick with him through thick and thin. Well, his thick and thin can get his butt removed from being our coach, and that's stupid. I'm not a coach, never been a coach, but I'm an Arkansas fan like everybody else called tonight, and we just want our freaking program. We want a program to be successful. I think it's pretty sad, guys, when we can't even talk about winning 8-9 games right now as a program. I listened to Lisa all ago, and I feel her pain, and I understand fans booing, but I dang sure don't want Bobby Petrino back. I'm sorry, that's nuts. Nothing against the guy, but we do not want to go through that. Yeah, he was a good coach.
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't care who he was with or whatever, it got him real. But we do not need that again. We need this guy to get the job done. If he can't, they need to find somebody else because you're right, guys. Like you said, we have not seen any proof in the pudding that he is the man to do it. And if he can't, like you guys said also, it was clearly evident to me watching Nick Starkel play the whole second half. His throws, his patterns, the way he threw the ball, the smoothness of it, his rhythm. Now, was everything perfect enough? But he put those balls where our guys could catch them. And I'm just, and he better wake up and realize we are Arkansas is all we have. That is our pro team, and we want to be supportive, and we're trying to be. But they need to do something. And guys, I'm telling you, that defense played good for all. But my God, they got wore out.
Yeah,
you can't leave a team out there and go through that. Am I right, guys? But
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. And our offensive line, oh my. And I know we're young, and I get all that. I get that. But like you can tell, Ty, what did Rich Rodriguez do tonight with the Ole Miss offense? They come out and ran tempo, did they not?
Yeah.
With a redshirt freshman.
With a redshirt freshman that everybody's questioning about, but we're supposed to have Ben Hicks, supposed to be this guy that knows Chad Moore's offense inside out, and yet his throws aren't good very well. And that stupid Wildcat, oh, my God, Dan McFadden ain't back there no more. You need to quit that crap because I don't know. And I got another question. Where did our fullback go? I didn't see Chase Hayden one time tonight. And what about the Henry freshman tight end? Nothing against Shine Grady, but put some more. If you're talking about being young, then put other players out there to help you because the fullback, we used him last week. I didn't see him one time in the blocking this week. But anyway, guys, and hey, I got another question. Where did Devon Whaley go?
He was.
I don't know if he's gone or what, or that kid's frustrated or what. But I don't know. You know, when a couple of years ago he was a promising stars running back, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys. I listen to you when I can, and I get your comments over. But guys, I'm telling you, man, I like Chad Morris, and I know he can recruit, but it ain't about recruiting. It's about freaking winning some football games. And you're right. This is one game. Our first half of this offensive was pathetic. I mean, it's sad as a Razorback fan when you put, because I have a picture-in-picture, when I put on the daggum Texas game, watch the Texas LSU game, then rather watch our Arkansas game. That is a sad state. Of course, I was glad that LSU whooped them, but it's sad when you'd rather watch another game than watch your own team play.
Yeah, it certainly is. Appreciate the phone call, Billy, and appreciate you listening, man. Because a lot of Razorback fans were doing the same. I was kind of even doing the same. I was watching the Texas LSU
better game.
Yeah, it was a better overall game.
Be blunt about it. It's a better game.
But it was a brutal showing. Totally, I understand it. We got time for one final phone call before we get out of here. Let's go back to the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Jerry's in Philly. What's going on, Jerry?
Boys, how's your night going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I've been better, to be honest. Been better. I'll say there's not many Philly guys out here that are going for the Hogs, but I've been watching them for a bit. And I mean, at what point do you just say scrap the punter? I'm saying throw the punter in the trash. I've been watching this team for years. For years, we can't punt a ball past 30 yards. Past 30 yards, we can't do it. And what do? We get inside the 40-yard line. I mean, the last couple of weeks, we get in there, and what do? We punt it for about a net gain of 12 yards. 12 yards tops. And 3 plays later, they're coming down our throats. I mean, at what point, hammer down left lane, are we going to get serious about it? I mean, at this point, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We're all talk. We're the schoolyard bullies. We talk a big game, we get punched in the mouth, and next thing you know, we're pissing down our legs. We're pissing down our legs, and we're punting away on a 4th and 2 at their 40-yard line, and we're punting for 7 yards net gain. You know, by the time they're coming back in us, and at what point do we realize maybe we get aggressive? You know, with the offense. You know, big Chad Morris, big guy, aggressive offense, and maybe we go after it. You know, I mean, that sometimes you think, you know, we change up the philosophy a little bit.
Yeah.
Or he starts to, you know, stick to, you know, what his gun.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, appreciate the phone call, man. Sorry we're up against it, but I get your frustrations, man. I'm telling you, left lane hammer down. It's in the right lane right now, and they are making me mad because they will not speed up. Appreciate everybody listening in. Be sure to turn in the Morning Rush and halftime next Monday.